Were we muted that whole time?
Well, now we're not. We are live. Hello, everyone.
Yay!
It seems to be working. Let's go. Hi, Jess. Hi, Corey.
Hi, JURT.
How you doing tonight?
I'm hanging in there. I'm dealing with some
can
severe allergies.
Were we muted that whole little bubble pop
Well,
up?
now we're not.
Ooh.
We are live.
Fancy.
Hello, everyone.
Yay!
And I
That's
did not
cute.
mute the stream I'm watching delayed, so now I heard myself and I hate it. Alright. Thanks everyone who's tuning in right now.
All 7 people, or 4 people, or
Or who,
13.
well, hopefully some people will listen to this after the fact, because it's gonna should be available after if I set everything right. I don't think it's gonna vanish into oblivion. So this is it. JURT and Jess in the evening. No intro.
Good talk. Have a great night, everyone.
Well, that was the easiest podcast I've ever been on. Sweet.
So our guest, as we said, is Corey, SDCore. Very glad.
Who's that?
That's you, Corey.
Oh. I got confused.
Very glad to have such an important figure of the SHL history for our first podcast, and also one of our best friends, who one of us got to meet the other day, but
The other day.
Yeah, the other day. Just
the other day.
Another day.
One of the other days. There has been other days than this one.
You all right there?
Yeah.
Jess might be dying.
I'm having
I might have to take over the
horrible
other co-host on
allergies.
this when Jess dies.
JURT and Corey in the evening actually does have like the right amount of syllables for our community parody. I gotta say.
Yeah, but I like you more.
Aw.
You know what? I'm hurt.
Just insulting our
I'm
guests.
hurt.
Like, just leading with that. Should we, like, do intros or something?
That's how.
Just in case there's anyone listening to this who does not already know who we are,
That's
who stumbled across this for some reason.
We probably should do intros. I mean, you guys are off to a great start for your first episode.
Look, I'm a mess, Corey.
the whole point of this is that they can duck our pay however they want. We don't care. We're rich.
It's true.
But yeah, that's a great idea actually. So whoever suggested it should go first.
Oh, frick. Okay, I'm Jess. Is that...
Hello, Jess. Is that like?
I'm Jess.
Anonymous? Hello, Jess.
No, I'm Jess, and I have been in SHL for over 3 years now, which is crazy because it feels more like 10 sometimes. But Rugsy says I'm super loud. Can you turn me down?
Yeah, I think I can do that.
I am just an actually loud person, Rugsy.
Yeah.
I don't mean in the usual way. God bless.
Oh yeah, you're at 200%. That would explain.
What the hell,
why.
Jurt? You're trying to make me look bad. That's what it is.
I don't know. Okay, let's see if that's better.
200%. All right, we'll hope that that's better, and I will continue introducing myself.
Yes, keep going.
I do a lot of things around here. I'm GM of the Nevada Battleborn. I'm in head office, and I'm a rookie mentor, and I'm Sweden IIHF head. And
And
oh
you
gosh,
do the
what
best
else?
graphics around.
I make some graphics. I do not make the best. There is an undisputed best graphic artist, and it is not me.
We'll
But,
circle back to that later.
Yeah, that's it. You go.
I am JURT, which is what I should change
You mean yurt?
Listen. I'm JURT, and which is probably what I should change my username on every sim league forever to, I think, because nobody calls me by my actual
True.
username.
He
So,
shows up in other leagues, and I call him Jurt, and people are like,
who the fuck?
"What?"
Who the fuck is that? I'm also a GM in the SMJHL for the Regina
It's
L.
Regina.
It's Regina, yeah. I think there's an easy trick to remember that one.
Yeah, Deadpool taught me.
The Regina Elk. I'm also SHL All-Star Head, and I am co-head of the I'm gonna brag, the recent gold medal. Sorry, Jess.
Whoa, you should apologize to both of us. I'm an affluent member of Sweden.
It's true.
Well, yeah, that's true. You didn't play on that IIHF roster though. Co-head, as I was saying, of the current reigning champions of IIHF in Winland, which is also something we'll probably talk about later. That last IIHF tournament, and I think that's the only thing I do. Do I do other stuff? Nah, that's pretty much it. And
You don't do anything else.
I don't think I do. Like, in terms of side jobs?
Maybe not.
These intros are amazing.
Well, if you're so good, go ahead and do yours then.
Yeah, so I'm SDCore, but everyone calls me Corey. If you call me SD or SDCore, that's kind of weird. I am the current GM of the Challenge Cup champions this season, Chicago Syndicate. My player is on the current 4-Star Cup champions, Newfoundland Berserkers. I am SMJHL HO, former commissioner of the SHL, former lots of other things. Kind of a sim league nerd. Yeah, that's me.
Yay, Corey.
Yay. Also a brag introduction.
Yeah, I had to.
I should have, but I don't really have anything to brag about. Tragic.
So,
Now everyone's feeling sorry for me.
Did I mention I won 2 cups last season?
You what?
I
Okay.
think I could have had a gold medal and a cup if I hadn't asked for a trade.
Yes, we'll get into that.
Yeah, well, I think that's the best way to get us started is to answer. Someone asked that question of how Jess and I met, and obviously that's the whole story in Chicago. You were there.
I sure was.
No, not you, Corey.
He was there too.
He was there too. So
We were all there.
everyone was there. That was great. Who asked that question? I'm just trying.
Trips. Trips.
Yes,
It was
those
Trips.
trips.
Was it Trips?
It was
It was
trips.
Trips.
He asked for our meet cute.
He's like
I
the
mean,
number one person who knows everything about that.
We could RP my favorite Jess Gunner Yurt moment or Jurt moment ever.
I'm scared of which one that is.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm
what you're talking
terrified
about.
because there's a lot of those that are equally horrifying.
Kissing on ice.
Okay, no, that was wildly blown out of proportion by the media. Thank you.
Sure it was.
That was a dirty, filthy tabloid
Sure.
fabrication.
Corey Kennedy had absolutely no part in that.
Absolutely not.
No, he was not the one that leaked that to the press.
Oh man, that's new lore.
I mean, I don't think that there had to be anything leaked in the
No,
Oh,
it was a game. It was a COVID game with like no media and no
Right,
spectators.
right. No one
No
saw
one would have
this.
known if Corey had not snitched.
Um, but to those who don't know, I could post the link. It's somewhere in the media section.
Yeah.
Um,
Go read my Gunnar Soderberg career retrospective of
yeah,
like my
it's gonna be in
60K
there.
words of media or whatever.
Yeah, it's so the in character story is Gunnar was in Chicago for quite some time after being acquired from, oh my god,
Tampa.
Tampa,
Tampa.
the Barracuda, and a few seasons after, JURT joined, and out of character. That's I think someone asked that question too. I think it's Rugsy.
Yeah.
Like
He asked.
we just found out that Jess and I were basically the same person. All right.
I can tell you my perspective there, which I've told Corey before, but
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm just like a person who is really obsessed with the locker room environment and pays way too much attention to that sort of thing sometimes. And I felt like maybe you were not connecting with the locker room to the extent that I hoped people would. And so I kind of started making more of an effort to like just bother you in the general locker room space. And then we started playing D&D and it was all just like coasting from there.
Yeah, and
But that was my first bit.
you were right about that fact that I wasn't really connecting because I was trying to build a connection with two people who were drafted to Chicago at about the same time as me. One of them asked for a trade after I think one season after his draft, after we were drafted, and the other one went inactive, and I felt like because there were a lot of Newfoundland alumni, and they're all great people. I've said so many times. I love everyone that comes out of that team. But
Except for Corey.
I love
That's fair.
You know I love Corey too. But at that time I was like the only. Well, I didn't even know you had played for the Colorado Raptors for like half a season. But
Half the season.
I felt a bit alone.
I think that was a hard season too. That was a hard couple seasons for Chicago anyway, because we were mostly people that came from Anaheim, and we were all like 46, 47s,
Yeah.
48 players. So
And
a lot
I
of
didn't
us
play
knew-
in Anaheim,
Yeah.
but like I still knew everybody from
You knew us from the
S47.
draft, from the 47 draft. So it was like easier for you because at that point our core was really based in, Anaheim, and then the 53 draft for Newfoundland, just because those were the teams J&H and I were connected to. So we know those people the best. And I think like your situation and unfortunately the Roddy situation really kind of made us look at the locker room a little bit differently and bring in people, like Matt and I can't think of anyone else's because my brain's gone, but basically Matt and other members.
Now Stallone, wasn't he? Did that
Yeah.
work?
Yeah, now Matt, the other guys from other teams to get different perspectives and kind of, make the locker room not just the Newfoundland overflow, which it did at times tend to be, but it's definitely not now as much. Still has a little bit.
It's still one of my favorite places on the site. Like I'm not even on the team anymore, but I still just like that's my hey, this is where my people are at.
Yeah.
That I can yell at about my job and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like popping around, in the locker room. Right now, I'm just very mad because someone said he had a new favorite ECHL team, and it's not my team. So
What?
that
It's
was,
a Trips.
No, it was in the Chicago locker room. I
Oh,
think
In
it
the
was
Chicago
Hex.
locker room, it was
Was
Hex.
it Hex?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Hex.
Oh,
Oh,
offensive.
because you got to look at that logo.
I mean,
That's
yeah,
a cool logo.
It's a pretty cool logo.
Which team?
The Savannah Ghost Pirates.
Oh,
They're
okay.
making their
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
they're having their first season next season in
That is a
the
pretty cool concept.
ECHL. So that rubbed me the wrong way, but I'm gonna
Aw.
I'm gonna
Tragic.
get over it. But yeah, so that's where Jess started bothering me, and it worked because I came in. I was very motivated and happy to be there and to help the team win its first cup, which it did.
Also, I think my favorite moment from when I knew you were invested in the locker room was we got reverse swept by Buffalo in the conference finals the season before you came up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think your first real big thing in the locker room was, oh, you're calling me up and we're going to win next season.
And we did.
And everybody in the locker room changed their name to that. And then we won.
Oh, I forgot the part about everyone changing their. Yeah.
Well,
and yeah, and we did win, and it worked. I really, and you know, I obviously had a strong connection with Jess too, because we agree on almost everything all the time, forever.
Except when I yell at him because I'm in a bad mood.
I mean, I normally agree with you when you yell at me because I did something stupid. I think this week was a first.
This week was rough.
You were mad at me and I couldn't understand why, but that's
I was mad at everything. I was running on 2 hours of sleep, just like to be fair.
fair.
I think I yelled at Jess a lot this week, actually.
Yeah, I deserve that though. You're not the only one.
But yeah, that's how we all know each other.
That's how
Yeah.
we know each other, and then the whole in character thing with JURT and Gunner always quoting each other in PTs and whatnot, and in tweeting at each other, and getting more and more into the bromance side of thing as Jess and I got closer.
And we
as
had like
friends.
plotted it out, and then like we had like a narrative going on, and then Trips started like sussing it out and calling us out on it. And we were like, Trips, shut up, you're gonna ruin it.
He kind of ruined everything. Because at the point when I asked for a trade and I got traded to Seattle, that's when we plotted everything out, and that's also the time I think where both of us started hanging out more. Like, you were great friends with Trips, I was great friends with Trips, but that's when we started playing D&D and really bonding as the three of us, and starting a group DM, just the three of us. So obviously he was pretty close to the whole thing,
Yeah.
and also very active on the SHL Twitter.
Yeah. The Twitter shenanigans. People are like, oh, we really need Twitter. And I was like, I need Twitter. Just me personally, for my narrative. I need Twitter.
And
Don't take my Twitter away from me.
people are really asking that because that's like the easiest way for.
No, people just bring it up every now and then. Like, this is stupid. People just tweet hashtag money and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
that's what I
but
would
not
do.
everybody.
I don't use Twitter.
It's,
I mean, I wouldn't use it for the money because I don't need the money, but I do use it for my storytelling.
and inversely, new players, new users in the league. That's like the first
That's
thing,
really helpful
the
for them.
first thing I tell them when anyone is joining my team, or even just scouting people and they're asking questions, like, make a Twitter. It takes 5 minutes to set up, and then however much time you want to spend on it, and you're good for however much. And if you tweet too much, you're not losing. Like, if you go over the podcast limit of an hour, you're wasting your time recording more. But if you tweet too much, you're wasting, what, 30 seconds.
It's true.
Oh, and speaking of trips, he's in the
He's
chat.
in the chat.
Wow, you're real behind on the times.
Oh yeah, maybe I'm watching the stream thing too.
Oh.
I'm doing 2 jobs at the same time. And I'm drinking a lot of wine.
Oh, I'm not doing that tonight. I meant to.
I'm not
but
either.
I'm just feeling like. So I decided not to make myself feel further like.
You are entitled to your own decisions. I'm drinking wine.
Let's see if we have questions. We have a question for Corey.
Yep, start with that one.
Benjamin wants to know what made you want to acquire me when I was on the trading block on Montreal.
Honestly, that was all J&H.
Oh, well, we'll have to have a J&H episode then.
Yeah, it was J&H that approached me about it. And I've known Ben in other Discords, and I knew he would be a great addition to the locker room because he never stops talking, which is awesome. It's been fantastic. So I was like, well, I mean, you can always use those kind of people around the team. I knew he was a young player that's super active, so there was no negatives. But I don't know originally, honestly, what J&H was like, why he picked him out. I know there's some working there, but if people don't know the relationship J&H and I have as GMing, we really let each other kind of do our own thing. I don't oversee really what he does. He doesn't really oversee what I do. We really do work kind of as a solid team. So I'm not like I need to know everything, and he's not like that with me either. But you two know that because you've been a part of my teams before and for a while.
It's funny because Jamin/James/Ben, whatever, I don't know what, like, I think everyone just calls him by his player's name. And I don't know if that's because that's his actual name. Like, a lot of people name their players after themselves, but
no.
Who would do that?
You're right, my name is Matsmith.
It's true. No, like I was looking and I realized like he joined like shortly before me, was only a class before me, but we like never interacted. I mean, I'm a SIG once, I think, but I don't think I ever talked to him before us62 in the rookie Discord. And he's just such a nice guy and so super active. It's crazy we never like ran into each other before that.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those things. Like I knew he had a player before, but yeah, I never really interacted with him with that player. And then as his new player was coming around, I started seeing him a lot more, and I'm like, yeah, I think that's kind of weird. Maybe he just sticks to his locker rooms a lot. I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll ask him.
We should.
We'll reverse question him.
We'll just have to have him on the podcast to answer his own question.
We're gonna have to start doing this on the daily if we want to have everyone meet too.
I will lose my voice.
I will lose
more than I already have. Not that I have that much of a voice.
I mean, we can't do that every night because we already have like ideally at least once a week we have D&D. We haven't in a while, and now we have twice, but an average once a week D&D. That's already impossible to.
True.
And Corey, I don't know if you want to expand on what led to you naming your new player Matsmith.
So, my player's name's Matsmith Söderberg-Tremblay, which is a combination of both of these two people's players at some point, and our goalie in Chicago. It came as kind of a joke. We were all joking that I could be your adopted child.
And then it just happened.
And it's just like Matt was in there and was like, yeah, I'll be your godfather. And I'm like, well, we should just name him completely after all three of you. And that's what I did.
Yeah. I mean, so that is the legal married name.
I am their adopted child. I was adopted late in life. Off the streets of Chicago. And yeah, that's my player.
And you were just very good at hockey.
I was just naturally talented. I was just a savant.
We just recognized some.
Yeah. I was like, you've seen the Mighty Ducks, and they just pull those kids off the roller, off a roller, and all of a sudden they're like the best ice hockey players ever. Yeah, that's how I was.
Exactly.
I
I
just
actually
made
found
that
the
up.
first reference.
I just made that up on the fly, but that is not what I'm going with.
I found the first reference in Chicago to Matsmith.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think it was during a game. Yeah. It was during a sim or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because everyone was spamming.
Oh yeah, and then literally 3 sentences later, I know my next create.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Matsmith, I think Matsmith Alexander's Tremblay Söderberg. It was the other way around. Doesn't
Yeah.
quite.
Yeah.
But
sadly, we had to
made,
do the.
It made Mats, and so you would have had Mats Marner too in there.
Yeah, you're right. It's true. But yeah, that's how my player became my player's name, which I still think is hilarious.
It is. It's amazing, especially considering the fact that we have like multiple other children planned after that you're just like this extremely older brother to.
Yeah.
Adopted.
Yeah, like surprise, Matt Smith. You're 19 now, and you have newborn triplet siblings. Good luck. Just beautiful.
Yeah.
What else do we have here?
It's awesome. And then the whole wedding thing.
Yeah, that was
so fun.
It was fun.
What other questions do we have? Let's.
Who is the smelliest member of JHO, and what can Corey do to fix that? From Brookwall.
Thanks, Brookwall.
I'm going to say that's Wuma.
Oh yeah, that
because
tracks.
the game is beans.
Mm.
And I can do nothing to fix it except tell him that it's Taylor ham and not pork roll.
That all tracks.
I have no idea what either of those are.
Yeah, don't worry about it. He'll know what it is. That's all that
New
matters.
Jersey bullshit.
Yes, New Jersey bullshit.
JURT.
Yeah.
How did Reno trick you into thinking he was a qualified co-GM candidate?
That's a good question. If Reno wants to answer my DMs now that I've hired him, that maybe he can tell me.
Oh, that's amazing.
Are you telling me he's asking you podcast questions but not answering your DMs?
No, he's answering, but he came in at the worst possible time, which is the off season, and I was like too busy doing stuff to actually try to tell him or ask him. Like, I'm not gonna ask someone who's never given. Like, he has a lot of sim league experience, GMing, co-GMing, but I don't think he would know the whole SMJHL free agency rules by heart, or well enough to just need it. Like, he would have had to read the whole thing, and I didn't want to throw that to him and like, you have 24 hours before free agency opens.
Oh boy.
You need to read the whole thing and understand it, because I'm gonna get burned out if I have to do it too. So I just did everything and tried to ask, like, give him as much as I could, but now that
I'm dreading that next season.
Yeah, now that
every season so far, I have had like my own returning IAs that are that TPE level, and I haven't had to fight people for them. And I think next year I may actually have to, because of like the the 5th season going away.
Yeah.
So I've got 63 and 62 aging out in the same season, which is.
I mean, everyone does. It's gonna be rough, but I think we've seen this season that this is probably the next big thing that HO has to look into, is like everyone being around at noon, and if neither of the two people can be around at noon, fuck you. You're just
I
gonna
can already tell you we're looking at it.
yeah. Um,
It's already something we actively talking about that we want to make sure we implement something to alleviate that pressure.
It's just messy.
It's just it's from an HO point of view. It's like what exactly do we do though? Like how do we make
Yeah.
it fair for everyone, but also make it so that there's a rule and there's a time limit
And also,
It's-
so it's not even bigger headache than it already is.
yeah, which was fun for this year having to count out posts and things and
Yeah, and
time.
you don't want it to turn into draft 2.0 like 3
Yeah.
days after the draft, where
Right.
it's already so like you have to figure out the date and everyone needs to be there at the same time, and it's a lot of work both for.
Hopefully, we just have
employees and GMs.
a really big recruit class next season.
Hopefully. And yeah, and then I can let Reno do all of these things and finally take a break.
No breaks for you.
No, okay, all right, denied.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, Reno did like the first day that I chatted, because it went over a few days. The first day that I talked to Reno, I think we didn't talk about the GMing stuff at all. We just talked about he's going to a show with JESS, and I asked what show, and then we started about talking about music and all sorts of other things, and then I just went to bed or whatever, or went to play D&D and came back on the next day and like actually realized yeah, that's a great person, but I need to ask questions about GMing. But we were on the same page on a lot of stuff with that, and I think it was something, a good person to add to the locker room, and we have a lot of other good people in the locker room to help us, which is something I'm trying out this season, is giving each one. I don't know if you guys, I've never heard or seen, I haven't been in that many war rooms before, but giving everyone really a specific focus, like you focus on scouting, you focus on locker room activity, and help each other out, but everyone needs to have a specific.
That's kind of what we've done for a while in both Chicago and Newfoundland.
Yeah.
It just makes things easier on the GM. Like we have the people who do, FHM specific things. We have an entire scouting team. A lot of people, cross over and doing, locker room activity and scouting, and because naturally those are the people that are most invested. But no, it's a good system.
Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear I'm doing something that's happening in Newfoundland, because whatever's happening in there, it's working.
They're also half the time crazy people. So there's that. I mean, that's what happens when, I run a locker room or I'm a part of a locker room. Crazy people. I think, because I'm crazy. Anyways.
I mean, me too.
Holt's question is a lot.
Oh, there's a lot of questions here. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna go through all of
My
that.
goodness.
Speed round. Speed
fire.
round.
Okay. Tampa was great. I cried when I got traded.
Hey, but you get traded to my team.
But I'm very happy that I did. In retrospect, it was like the best thing, like, that could have happened for me on the site, because it really A, it shook up my narrative, which I love, and B, I met you guys, so
Well, I mean, we already knew each other, but yeah, the same thing.
I mean, I didn't know you that well.
No,
I
you
knew
didn't.
you enough to know that you were the only person on the team that I knew when I got traded there.
Fair.
Which was like, it was enough of a connection that I hit Corey up when I got traded, and I was like, trying not to cry about it, and also trying not to leak it, because I didn't know if he knew yet.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's because, has anyone heard from Chicago?
Yeah, you never know.
Hmm.
And also, like, you weren't really involved in trades at that point, I don't
No,
think.
I wasn't.
So, yeah.
I was doing
I was
the
just like, I
Lethbridge thing
hit
at that
Corey up
point.
at like 11 p.m. one night, and I'm like, hey, Corey, how's Chicago? And he's probably like, what is this weirdo talking about? And then it all made sense like 2 hours later.
I knew at the time that you hit me up, I knew because J&H told me that you were probably going to talk to me because you were nervous.
I wasn't nervous. I was just devastated.
Okay, we've
do you
ruined
go
the
from-
speed round.
Sorry.
How do you go
I mean,
from-
look,
I
the
do-
rest of these
but-
questions are not
but-
real questions.
wait,
This
How
is
do you go from I wasn't nervous to just devastated? Like, how is that?
Because I wasn't like anxious. Like I wasn't that I was
But-
scared. I was just sad.
Yeah, but you're only devastated, but you're not nervous.
True.
I love you, Jess.
Speed
Alright,
round.
speed round.
I've never met William Nylander, sadly. I have never spent any time with him, sad. I assume that he's a very nice boy at home. He seems to really love his mother based on all of the interviews. I assume he sleeps well. Most pro athletes do. He does seem to be good with pets and kids. He has like 6 younger siblings, so no, that's Gunner. He has a bunch of younger sisters.
No, that's
probably not
Gunner.
6. He has a younger brother and like 3
I like how
younger
you're
sisters.
conflating their stories
Oh,
now.
I definitely am.
Oh my god.
No, he does have a large family, and he seems to be good with with his little sister. So good for him. I like to think that he like really does experiment with high thread count sheets. I think that he is rich enough that he can go and get as high a thread count as he wants to, and he can just kind of figure out what works for him. So probably he is experimental in the sheets. My favorite place to go out with him. I like to just make graphics with his face that he has no idea will ever exist. That's my favorite activity to do with William Nylander. Corey, your turn.
Top 22 Pokemon. I'm just going to say not 22, but any EV evolution.
All right, there's
bottom,
like 7.
Yeah, but just times them by however many to get to 22.
Okay.
Bottom 17, any water Pokemon. So just pick 17 water Pokemon and just put them on there.
Oh, good.
What about Vaporeon though?
He's like the least best EV evolution.
Least best.
Least best. Because he's still an EV evolution, so he's still good. What's it like to be an HO? I've been an HO for about 3.5 years, so that would take way too long for me to explain. Are the GMs mean? Yes. Let's just go with yes. But everyone can be mean at sometimes. I don't think in the J at least people are intentionally mean.
No.
Yeah, he does whip me, and it's great. This is a cry for help. Please help us. Oh yeah, no.
No.
Sorry, Simmers.
I'm just gonna go with no, and that's it.
All right, good speed run. Who are you more likely to fire between Evoc and the Simmers that cry for help? Would be another good question, I think. JURT, hi, how are you? I'm fine, except I popped a blood vessel or something in my eye, and now it's all red and annoying.
Oh,
I don't know what happened there. I took out my contacts, so I'm good. My favorite food, I'm gonna have to go with poutine, because I'm from Quebec, and it's the best thing in the whole damn world. Probably there's one poutine they make in my hometown with god damn it,
say it in French.
oh yeah, steak haché and salade de choux.
There we go. Perfect. Now we all
There
know.
was maybe a salad involved.
Yeah, it's there's some coleslaw, but it's a weird kind of, they call it coleslaw, it's not the one you know probably, and it's ground beef, I guess, so that's very good. And what's the ep.1 And the JNY is at Vancouver. I don't know what that means.
Best.
Yeah, I know.
It's best.
Yeah, I know.
It's best.
I was trying to avoid the question because it's not Vancouver.
There we go. Perfect. Nailed it.
Question for all of us. Why is Raymond so cool and why is he our favorite Animal Crossing character?
I tried playing Animal Crossing for like 2 days and I gave up. It was just too tedious.
I just started over and it's so much fun. Raymond
You're
is
wrong.
not my favorite Animal Crossing character, and I think he knows this because we've had this discussion.
And who's your favorite simmer and why is it Holtz?
It's Calicar. Sorry.
Oh, that's a good one.
Pain.
But I like all the simmers. All the simmers are nice. Like, you know,
It's really is
we
just
love our
like one of
simmers.
the
It's
most
such a hard job.
demanding jobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but couldn't the bot do it? Oh, what the fuck? Oh shit, my
we
father's calling.
need a click bot.
I'm gonna mute myself because my father's calling and my grandfather's not been doing well for a while.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna let you guys talk.
Jess and I will carry this.
Okay, we will do that.
Okay. I don't know what the next thing means. What does in the bag?
Okay, so into bag. That's SO's new player now.
Oh.
But also into bag is a direct reference to the D&D campaign that me and JURT and SO all play in that Trips GMs. So Trips
the
GMs
one.
this, yeah, and it is like part of that a recurring theme that SO's character, whose name is Maple, and is like a little teeny tiny knee-high pixie.
So this is another D&D game I was uninvited to. It's amazing.
You're in the other one.
I feel so good about this.
Aren't you in the other one that they arranged specifically for Pacific time people?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so SO's character frequently sleeps in my character's bag. So she is in the bag. And that is just what SO decided to name his recreate. That is why in the bag.
Okay, now that's been explained.
Do we have anything that's just for Corey?
I don't think so. People don't like me.
That's not true.
Oh, it's true.
I mean, some people don't, but that's their loss.
Can you explain something to me?
Oh boy.
I've been meaning to ask and I feel too lost, and it's one of those things, you feel dumb for asking because you feel like you should know it. What the hell is this EB, and F energy? I don't get it. I know it's something going on in SJM. It was in the JHO or in a GM chat, and I've been out of town and not really paying attention for like the last 4 days, and I feel like I've really missed something that I don't understand.
So it's literally just a hex code for a color that Yukon, I believe, used when they rebranded, and they were trying to decide what hex code to use for their Discord role, and everyone decided that EBBB just was the coolest sounding color.
Got it.
And apparently FFFFFF is, because that's white, is
yeah. No, I know what that is as a hex code. Okay, so they're hex codes. Once you said they're hex codes, now I understand.
Yeah. Flute. What a FFFF kind of question. Oh my god. I had to explain it, Roxy. I wasn't just going to sit here and lie to my friend.
I mean, you could have. You could have made up some like epic narrative that
just
it was
kidding.
like.
It stands for.
I guess I give off the most.
Eggs and bacon.
I guess to answer his question, then I give off the most F energy.
It's true.
Yeah. So
I like that Flu is saying this and he's not even using enough Fs. He's using 5 Fs, which is not even a complete hex code.
Oh man. Okay. Well, that's okay.
Yeah, that was an adventure.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Is there any questions here for you or for me?
For you.
Um,
Unconfident asked you, why do you hesitate to trade for me so much?
honestly, we were in a season where Newfoundland was just going to steamroll everybody else again, so it didn't make sense for me to make moves for rentals. Um, so I was just gonna, just hang out and vibe. But he really wanted to play for us, and Flu was nice enough to make me a reasonable deal to just kind of swap an equivalent IA player for a lesser pick for his active unconfident, who actually ended up playing really, really well for us. And like I would do that deal again in a heartbeat, even though obviously we didn't get anything done competitively. We did set up franchise points records. That was fun.
Oh, nice.
In a year where I had 6 rookies and expected us to just be growing. So that was so surprised. It was fun.
Yeah, I remember you sending me the message after the season.
But yeah, I'm glad we did. He still hangs out in the locker room. He's a great guy to have around. So I'm really glad that we did it. But yeah, that was really all it was at first, was just me just being like, I don't want to spend assets on a rental that's not going to get me anywhere competitively. And then I ended up deciding that the locker room boost was worth it, even if he was going to get called up after that season.
Yeah.
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 What else? What else? That's a question for me and JURT. That one seems to be for all of us.
Yep.
Um,
We could talk about my best and worst moves as GM.
We could do
I
that,
mean, that's
yeah.
for all of us. But
yeah, you can start first.
my best move, honestly, as GM, my best move, probably my favorite move was. I don't even know. I know the worst move was trading JURT, but he wanted to do it. Like, I feel like people need to understand, like, I don't know how many people really understand that story. Like, we didn't want to trade him, but he has this, like, grandiose plan for his player, or did. So he wanted to get traded, which we completely understood and we share no weird feelings about. But my best move is probably not my best move as a GM, but it's probably my favorite thing I've done as a GM, and that is winning you your first cup and getting Darian his first cup ever at SHL, and he's been in this league since like season 10.
Oh my god, that's brutal.
Yeah, so this year was his first ever
been that long.
Challenge Cup. Yeah.
I love that narrative.
Yeah, so that's probably my favorite. It's not really a move, but that's probably my favorite thing I've done as a GM.
All of the moves that added up to that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Oh gosh, best and worst. Poof. I mean, best, like, that first draft class still stands out after me and Jax took over. Mm-hmm. Like, our S61 draft class, bringing in, like, Schwarz and eventually Issa, who we traded for. We didn't actually draft him, we wanted to, but we ended up trading for him. Like, that really just kind of laid the groundwork for everything that Nevada has become since then. And I think without that, it would have taken us maybe even longer to get where we are now. So I look back on that draft fondly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting to say though, because like I'm thinking of my time as Chicago GM, but like when I was the Newfoundland GM, the draft class where we got Patty, Ham, we got Juke the year before, but like those, then the year after that we got Darian and like a bunch of people. I think that was a really like that kind of sparked what Newfoundland is today. Love it or hate it, you know?
Yeah, like it's important. Like that first, because we came in really late in S60 or S59 because it would be the S61 SHL draft. Yeah, in 59. No,
I don't remember the circumstances of you guys getting hired.
Oh, you don't?
No.
I don't remember exactly how Jax got hired. I know that somebody was like quitting or leaving or something, and he just kind of got handed it because he was active and he was internal and applied for it. And I had been randomly talking to him, a couple weeks earlier
I mean,
after he had come back.
I remember the moment you got hired because I think I immediately yelled at you.
That accurate. Because I had thought, like, for a long time that I would like to be a J co-GM. Because I didn't want, like, I did not, and I still don't ever want, you know, I still have zero interest in being an SHL GM. And it's still 100% because of the budgeting.
Yeah, which is now on hard mode.
I know. I'm working on it. But I, as a rookie mentor and all that, for the longest time, I feel really strongly about, developing players and setting them up well so that they can go on to be in the SHL. And like the idea of being a JGM and being able to be like the locker room hype man and person who does all of that was really appealing to me. The sim stuff had no appeal for me at the time, but Jax was like, no, it's fine. And so I had just like mentioned it in passing, like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. Would love to be a J co-GM someday. And then he got the Nevada job and like 2 weeks later came back to me and was like, so when you said that, did you mean that? And I was like, yes, I did. Why? And so then it was just this really long weekend of waiting to find out if he got the job, to find out if I also got the job.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I hope Jax is doing well.
Yeah, right?
Hi.
Hi.
Jared, welcome back.
I'm back. Where are
You
we?
okay? We're answering our best and worst moves as GM.
Oh god. Oh, I missed quite a few then.
No, we skipped around.
Oh, okay.
I'll just throw Jax under the bus here and say all of my worst GM moves were his.
I'll 100% throw Jax under the bus here and say I don't know what the hell he was doing with some of those things. I love Jax, but what the fuck was he doing?
Some of those traits were questionable. I don't regret any of the people that we brought in. Like, the people are good. Like,
no, yeah, it's just
even
how
Effie,
they were brought in.
who did not end up like max earning and like,
but it's the
stalled out at like 300 GP. Love having him around, but yeah, those were some overpays, to say the least. And honestly, in the end, it put me in a better position for this season in retrospect, because I didn't have that huge a 62 draft class that everyone else did.
Right.
So when everyone else lost like 6 or 7 players this season, I only lost like 2 or 3.
8.
I was like, well,
9.
I didn't like this at the time, but right now it's kind of nice to be not losing my whole team. Yeah, but
I guess I can go too.
Yeah. I guess you're kind of a new GM though, so this should be a real short list.
I don't have. I think that's Whitecap's question, right?
Yep.
I think my worst move as GM was not entirely my fault, but not being able to grab him as co-GM when I had the chance. If the timing had been better, because now he's co-GMing in Los Angeles,
which I just figured that out today.
And also
Corey just learned that this afternoon.
in hindsight, I think it was 2 seasons ago, I thought I was getting pretty. I still think I got pretty good deals, but buying at the deadline to be swept in 4 by Anaheim in what is still the biggest what the fuck FHM moment I've lived myself. Like this last draft, I was regretting not being able to capitalize on that when I traded those picks. I didn't end up with fewer picks that I started with, but they were later in the drafts, and with the drafts we're having right now,
every little bit helps.
It's not ideal. My best move, I don't have a lot. I think my best move is just in terms of how difficult it was to put everything together is the four-way trade of the Colorado GM Academy
Oh,
that
goodness.
that we did.
That was so funny.
We all got together, and there was this one player that we hoped would get to Colorado because we still all love Colorado, despite being GMs elsewhere. So we had the four-way trade, and it was glorious. It really didn't take that long to figure out. I think, like, for something this crazy, took a few hours, and we had everything sorted out. What was leaving where, and ended up where, and I think everyone got what they were hoping for. It was very a fair trade for the four of us, so I think it's maybe not my best move in terms of like what I got versus what I gave, but it's definitely my proudest.
Love it.
Now I want to know what every other questions you did, so I can answer them too. Was there?
We really just did.
We did that. We talked for a while.
Okay.
I think that's it. Oh no, we did Flo's question. I had to ask
Not
what
EB.
The biggest ebebeb.
I had to ask what the hell that even meant.
That's
I miss those days in the GM chat.
I'm loving this GM chat meme. That's all I can say is the current color scheme for the Discord widget that we have on the stream to see who's talking. The letters are ebebeb, and both the outlines and the text.
It's our favorite.
It's it's the hex code 69 a.k.a. So
I love
that's
this
the
hex
kind of
code.
turquoise.
It's just a pleasant color, and I love it.
It's the turquoise that's outlining our Discord usernames on the widget, and also the ep.1 text. So
Beautiful.
That's my opinion. I think I give a big ebebeb energy because I'm even trying to subtly slip it, sneak that into my work.
It's true.
Where I can decide the color for some parts of the websites, and wherever it's white, I just whenever
You're
it's
using
white,
ebebeb.
I'm using ebebeb instead of
Goodness.
FFFF. And no one will ever know except for everyone who's listening to that. So yeah, I think ebebeb is great.
Love it. What else do we got here?
I got Jay asking me why I didn't hire him as Regina Co. and
That would be tampering, Jay.
I don't know if you can tamper a co-GM because he's not playing on the scarecrows. But
That's true.
But even if it's not legal, it's like the worst possible.
That is just a dick move.
It's one of the dickest. I think it's one of the dickest legal move you could do, especially with such a low rate of success. Like, how do you expect to convince someone else's co-GM to leave them and become
just leave and go be yours?
Go to be your co-GM. So like,
it'd be amazing though. I would love to see that happen.
The drama would be pretty.
It would be incredible.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna be the one to spark this. I love Jay, but I'm not gonna go ahead and try to
go and start a fight with Sparky over him.
I did try to steal someone from another war room, but it was not a GM.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
Spill.
It was Gordo. Because
That makes sense.
I was in the Colorado War Room with him, and like I like him a lot. I know he's
that
great.
makes
He's
sense.
in Winland. He's one of the few people in the league that I've actually met in real life, because of we're all in the same province and speak the same language that's different from yours.
What?
So I thought, and he's probably even there's I don't want to dox him too much, but there's a chance we might live even closer together some point soon in the future. So like everything seemed to be aligned, but didn't happen. He stayed in Colorado, which sometimes, I'm gonna be honest, sometimes I wish I stayed in Colorado.
Blitz says Sparky soft, you could take him.
What?
That's what Blitz said in the chat. Sparky's soft, you can take him.
So yeah, and in the end, Reno's great, and I'm looking forward to what we'll do over the next.
Yeah, Reno is
love
really
Reno.
good in Newfoundland. So
Reno is like, even though he was drafted elsewhere in PBE, is still like one of the loudest voices in the Boise locker room, and is just always just so positive and just such a fun person to have around.
Okay, so Carpy wants to know how difficult the IIHF final was for you two.
Shh, I didn't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about this.
So how hard was it for you two?
Honestly, at that point, it was not for me because we had been. This was the first time in like the entire FHM era that Sweden had been to a final, so like getting there was the victory for me.
And
so I was just like, and it was losing to JURT, so like it was kind of like not even losing was
Plus,
not as shitty as it could have been.
You gave Juke another championship this season.
I did. He deserves it.
I think what Jess said is what actually made it harder for me, because and
JURT knows how hard I take losing most of the time,
and like I'm always we always talk about FHM not going the way we hoped it went, and when I lost that series, I was winning in like 80% of the test and still winning 50% of the time after trailing 0-2. Jess is the first one I talked to, and vice versa. And when Jess was undefeated in the round robin and lost in the quarterfinals, we're always supporting each other. And now, like, Jess is there, and she has the chance to grab that gold and finally be on top. And obviously, if we hadn't won,
here's the thing: Sweden's going to be good for a while.
Yeah. I mean, we've got some regression hitting, but I feel like I did a solid job with the transfers this season to like backfill those forward spots we're losing.
Yeah. I have a thing.
Because we've got you and Tesla now and Fuzz and me all aging up into there, so like our forward core is going to be set for a bit.
I have a thing called Rashford.
Yeah.
And I mean, like the fact that we're not gonna drop too much doesn't mean like Sweden's gonna be very good, but
I'm not worried about Rash.
Yeah, but I'm
not worried about him.
At that moment, I was like, we just won gold, and I was so happy, like a few seasons ago, and I really want Jess to have that. Like,
honestly, I was sad.
I was rooting.
But
I was rooting for you. I don't care.
That's such a lie.
No,
I believe him.
It's true. Be Fine has the screenshot to confirm this. I didn't tank on purpose, obviously, because like I'm.
You're not gonna do that. No,
I have.
I wouldn't want to win it that way.
Of course, and I have some integrity towards the job I do, and
I have no integrity.
Respect, and towards Carpy and all the people in Finland. I need to try and win for them, but in my heart of hearts, I was hoping Jess would beat us and get that gold.
And I was just really happy to be there. I really was. Like, and that's unusual for me because I really do. I you know, I do not like losing, and I've done a lot of it, and I have to like just turn off the FHM sometimes and like walk away from the computer before I get pissy and say something very mean to people that I love. Um, and I know that about myself, so I remove myself from that situation. But in this case, I was like, I really just felt totally fine with it. Like I was very happy that we had gotten to a final, and I was very happy that if I was losing, it was going to be to JURT and Carpi.
Yeah, and I think like what you said about walking away, I think it's the one thing that's very hard about the SHL is, and the J and whatever is. I love a lot of people on this league, but it's non-stop. We're still playing against each other. Like I can go with my friends, play board games for a night, and we're playing Monopoly and the whole stereotype about how it ruins friendships. But
it does.
Actually, like
100% does.
Or I'm gonna go play Mario Kart with a bunch of friends, and we're gonna be like we're trying to beat each other, but at the end of the day, we all go away, and then we'll spend a month just sending memes and whatever else friends do. But we're not always going to be in that mindset. But in the SHL, you don't have like we're still gonna do all the things friends do, playing D&D, send memes and whatever. But at the same time, there's always this reason why we know each other and why we hang around each other is we're constantly playing this game.
Just all competing with each other nonstop. And honestly, not to get on my IHF soapbox, but that's one of the reasons I love the international hockey so much. Is because like we all get into our little insular communities and we like to stay on our teams with our friends. And that's great. Like there's nothing wrong with that. But I like that the international hockey lets you, like, pushes you out of that and helps you make new friends that you wouldn't have made otherwise. Which I really like, because there's people that I talk to in Sweden that I would not have ever talked to. Like, otherwise, I wouldn't have really had any reason to. And now that I know them, I'm more open to other, more sympathetic. There's more empathy there when you know the people on the other teams and they're not just, like, this...
No, I want to bury them all. Jess knows how competitive I am.
It's
I want to bury them all.
True. I don't. I'm like.
In that case,
I'm the same way, except I get like. I don't get. I don't want other people to fail. I just get very, very mad at myself. When I
don't get mad at I don't ever get mad about a sim result. I get mad.
Oh, I do.
I just feel bad. I just feel bad. Because I do so much work to make sure that that I want everyone on my team to win, and I feel responsible for that.
Exactly.
And I just feel bad. Like when we got reverse swept against Buffalo that season, I like literally wanted to cry because like I felt so bad that there was nothing I could do. Like everything that I was trying to do didn't work, and I was like, and I felt it happening, and I'm like, I just feel bad.
Yeah.
But I imagine, that's like, the reality of blowing something that you don't have any control over. Like,
yeah,
we really, in the end of the day, have very little control.
Yeah.
Over
you do what you can, and then you throw it at the sim gods, and you say, "Please don't fuck me."
Which after that season is where I kind of started the mentality of like, well, I did what I could, and I don't obsess over it.
Oh, I still haven't hit that. This may be it for me. This season may be the tipping point.
I think this is the first season, postseason, doing the Chicago job where I was like confident going into it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it wasn't like throwing darts at a wall, which is the first time I've ever felt like that in the off season or in the postseason. And we still had to take 2 series to Game 7. Like,
ugh.
Anyways.
I hate this game, man. I hate it so much. If I never had to play FHM again, I would be so happy. But I love the rest of it enough to make up for that, which is so crazy. Because I hate it a lot.
So what I'm hearing is you want us to move back to SDHS.
Yes.
I would rather die.
Maybe we can try the little game that Gabe linked earlier.
Okay, so we're running a little long here.
We are. Okay, let's quickly. Hannah asked, in an alternate universe, the league expanded when none of us were GMs. New rules are we can have 2 co-GMs. What's our team name? Who's on it? It is in the J or the SHL, and how does our season go?
So wait, are we all GMing together in this reality?
All of us are GMing.
Yes.
Together.
I assume we are since there are 2 co-GMs, I assume we are doing a team together.
It's in the J, I think, because all of us prefer the J in this chat, I believe.
Currently, with the current state of things, I will say I'm working very hard. I'm putting in work in HO because I feel like that's a problem that gets solved from the top down. But anyway, yes, currently, love the J. I also just love like user development and getting new people excited for the site and seeing them stick around.
But that's kind of what I'm saying. Like I feel like we all kind of have done that to some respect.
The work I like. Yeah. It's not
exactly.
even just the working environment. It is the actual work I really love. Yep.
I still think, like, I still tell people my favorite job on the site, and I would have never given it up, I would have never given up Newfoundland's GM job. I would have, but it would have been unfair.
Needed elsewhere.
It would have been unfair to Ham. Quite frankly, like, it would have been completely unfair to Ham. He would have left and went and GM somewhere else, and we didn't want that, obviously.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
He probably wouldn't have, but then he, like, I don't know, his interest in the site would have went down, and he's such a fantastic person and such a good GM, and such, like, at J&H and I just kind of looked at ourselves like, it's time for us just to not do this.
He is. He's, like, so good at that stuff. We just, like, brought him into my SSL team. And
our SSL team.
Yeah. We were talking about it in the war room, and they were like, what's this trade worth, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, literally, whatever you have to pay. Like, I promise you it will be worth it.
Yeah, he's such a great dude.
Like, this is the person that you overpay for.
Yeah.
Wait, you're in the Tokyo War Room?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have been.
Good
from
for
day
you.
one. I think they added me in there, like, the day I got drafted because they didn't know who else to draft, and they knew that I knew people.
That makes sense, yeah.
Anyway, back to our fake team.
Yeah.
It's in the J. What's it called? I want to make Trips really mad and put it in Sweden.
We almost in Newfoundland named the team the Oslo Ocelots.
Oh my god. Love it.
But we were told that we couldn't be in Oslo because, J things, but we really wanted to be the Oslo Ocelots.
Because it makes sense to have teams travel from Newfoundland to Anchorage, but it wouldn't make sense to have people travel across the Atlantic.
No. So, that's what I'm going to go with. If I had the choice, we start a team in Europe and call them the Oslo Ocelots, because I just love the alliteration.
Beautiful.
Wait. Yeah.
We're going to have to, like, compromise and put the team in, like, Denmark or something.
I mean, Norway's
Stuart's
fine.
going to want it in Finland.
Norway's fine.
You want Norway, I want Sweden, so we're going to all just compromise and put it in Denmark.
I mean, I'm okay with Norway as long as it's not Sweden.
Yeah, Norway. It's Oslo. We've named it.
Fine.
And how does the season go? We win, of course.
Obviously we win.
What the hell are you talking about?
Who's on our team, though? All of our people.
All of our people. We're running 13 lines of forward, 16 pairs of defensemen, and 5 goalies.
That's why no one can beat us.
All the other teams are 155.
If you share a locker room with one of us, then you're on our team. So pretty much
everybody is on the team. Oh, hi, Jay. Jay's in the chat.
Why's Jay in the chat?
I'd be curious.
He has a question.
Wow, and it's in French.
Oh, no.
I got this.
It's the question, voulez-vous?
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
No.
What the hell, JURT? Wrong song.
It's voulez-vous. What? That's the ABBA song.
Oh my god, he just doesn't even pay. I'm ashamed.
Okay, but Jay
I don't know how long is that delay,
years.
but whenever you hear it...
But Jay takes 3 years to ask that.
Because he hasn't heard us ask him yet. Because of the delay.
Didn't think this far ahead.
It's alright.
By the way, it's in question. The question is a lady, so it's in and not There's a e at the
Oh,
end.
dang.
Because the question's a lady.
Like a pizza. It's a lady.
Because
like
the
pizza.
pizza's a lady, obviously.
You like pickled pickles. Yes, I like pickled pickles.
I love pickles.
Pickles are amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna be the odd man out.
My baby likes pickles too. She will eat them right out of the jar
I like the baby. I still don't
with
have
her giant hands.
her giant hands. I think we should keep that story for another time.
Yeah, that's another episode story.
How did y'all become so great? We met you, Mateo. That's
Yeah, Maddie.
Maddie. Love
Wait, I
Maddie.
have a. Yeah.
Oh, and here's something from Z with a chuckle. Oh no, that was shit. I messed it
I was
up.
supposed to start.
When did you meet? Well, we pretty much answered that. If you could change one thing in the league right now, what could it be?
I have things that I would say,
I
but
have
I'm not going
many
to say them.
things. I mean, I have a list. That's why I finally applied for HO.
Alright, well, I'm not in either of the HOs, so I'm just gonna try to think of something. I think the first thing that comes to mind is Fantasy TPE, which is way too high for something that is hard for some people, and it's a lot of guesswork. Sometimes you put a lot of time into it and you just get nothing. Predictions, you'll always get a bit of something, even if you get them all wrong, and there's more of them. But like 10 TPE over a whole career every season can be a lot. I think that's the first thing that could easily change, and that I think we should change is Fantasy TPE. So people in either of the HOs, do what you want with that. And then Rugsy clearly not understanding the concept that there's three of us on the podcast with
No, he just ignores me. Rugsy's just openly ignoring me.
Okay, well, the end of the question does make sense for the both of us, because the experience in the SHL doesn't actually pertain to that. If you were a D&D character, how much would you pay for a wooden door?
You did not follow the directions. You have to start by saying, "Oh, and now here's something from Rugsy."
I did say, "Oh, and here's something."
I don't think
he
the
did.
chuckle was exaggerated enough.
I said with a chuckle.
You
He said with
literally
a chuckle.
said-
He did not chuckle.
I said
my
it
God.
out loud. I
can't.
I've been having wine.
Uh-huh. So you don't know how to chuckle anymore.
Haha.
Oh my
Understandable.
god.
Corey is just regretting his whole evening right now.
Yeah, I really am. I could have been shooting things in Destiny.
I gotta do that again.
But yeah, I think we should wrap.
Season
this up.
ends this week.
We should wrap this up right now. I think.
Yeah.
I think some of those questions I'll keep note of for the next guests.
I'm gonna tell Rugsy right now. I'm a shrewd negotiator. I would haggle that wooden door down to about 7 gold pieces.
Why are you paying so much for a wooden door?
Wooden door's worth about 10 gold pieces.
No. Just have your barbarian break one off of a house and just take it.
No, that's the point.
Okay.
We broke one, and then they wanted us to pay for
You have
it.
to replace it.
Yeah.
So,
You go, okay, I'll handle that, and you leave, and you go steal someone else's door. Here's your door.
do we have a barbarian? Yes, it's me. Fuck.
Yeah, I was like waiting for you to realize this.
That's it. That's incredible. That's actually incredible.
I'm a halfling
that's
barbarian, so I'm like, I'm trying to think
Oh,
of someone
shit.
in the party who can break down the door, and I don't think of myself because I'm a halfling. But it's true, I'm the barbarian.
J&H has asked us a question, which I think is a great question for us to end on.
Oh yeah.
Would you rather fight 100 feta-sized Cories or one Cory-sized feta?
I don't think I could ever fight
Do I
a
gain
feta. So
the size and speed of feta? Like,
Do you
am I going to be
gain the-
nimble, or
I'm
am I
sorry,
going to
did
be
you just ask if you gain the size of feta? Because you're
No,
not that
this-
short.
No, like the speed of feta. Do I like turn into a rabbit where I can like zip around all quick, or am I like my slow self in feta
I also would
size?
like to know that.
Look, I feel like there's more layers to this.
Yeah.
If I was like quick and speedy like feta, then
I mean-
I don't think feta's actually quick or
You're-
speedy.
you're a
I also think one human-sized animal is still, like, rabbit is still, like, infinitely preferable to 100 rabbit-sized humans.
I first
Like,
of,
that does not balance out at all.
I mean, we're talking about feta-sized Cories, so it's not feta speed Cories, it's feta-sized, so you just gain the size.
You're just small.
You're
I like
you're
to
a
think that
tiny
you have
character
the ear.
instead of a medium character, but you keep all your attributes and
I think I would rather fight one Cory-sized feta.
I don't think I could punch a
Yeah.
rabbit, so I'd
I
rather,
think
I
so,
think-
too.
I'd rather punch a lot of Cories than punch a single rabbit.
Honestly,
That's just so many.
could
You'd
you imagine 100 of me though? Like that would be the world's
D&D is
worst.
a numbers game. You would just get nibbled to death by those little Cories before you even got, like, one round.
I mean, the question is not which one am I more likely to beat. It's which one I would rather fight.
Oh, which one
And
you
I would
more
rather
like feel
punch
okay with?
100 Cories than
Wow.
punch one rabbit.
I think
I
that-
mean,
I
I don't
assume
think-
that the rabbit is fighting me. Like, I assume I don't just walk up and punch a rabbit. I hope.
I'm still going with a Cory-sized feta.
Yeah,
All right.
that's my choice
Yeah.
also.
So Jess
I don't want
and-
to fight 100 of anything.
Jess and Cory like to punch rabbits, and I like to
Yeah.
punch Cory. That's
100%. Yep. I will
This
punch a rabbit.
all right. Well, I think we'll end on
I
that.
think that's
I
a
think that's the
great
perfect
place to end an
quote.
episode.
The perfect quote to end this. I'm gonna punch a rabbit.
Please just make the summary of this episode.
I'm gonna punch a rabbit. Quote by Cory.
Yes.
2022. Send it. All right. Well, thanks, Cory, for being with us for this first episode. Jess, can't
This
wait
was fun.
to do another one with you and
Yeah.
our mystery guest for hopefully next week. We're gonna try to set something up. It's a mystery because even we don't know. So
Amazing.
Mystery to us as well.
I can't believe I'm gonna say that. Please like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Or just
Oh my God.
check the SHL media forums once in a while, and you'll know all you need to know.
Yo, please hit the like and subscribe button.
Yeah.
And we'll see you soon. Any feedback, obviously, it's the first one, so any feedback you can direct to Jess or myself.
Or me. That's fine too.
Or, you can send feedback to Cory.
It
and
won't get to them if you send it to me, but you can still do it.
Alright, I'm gonna try to figure out how to end the podcast in OBS now. Thanks everyone, and have a good night.
Later.
I know.